Honor recipient in the area of recruiting for the 3rd time. Please help me welcome Jillian Grant from Huntington Station, New York. Wonderful. Welcome, every single one of you. Well, we have some questions for all of you, and I know that you just are really looking forward to sharing some thoughts and ideas on host coaching. Okay, so Penny, guess what? We get to start with you. And actually, we have a 2-part question for Penny. Penny, we know that communication is instrumental in coaching our host to have a successful show experience. What methods do you use when you communicate with your host? And part 2, how do you use those methods to communicate your host before she has the show?
Well, Judy, there are many ways to communicate with your host before the show, but there are 2 forms of communication that cannot be missed because they will help you build a loyal, long-term relationship, and relationship is the key word there with your host. The first is through live, face-to-face communication, and the second is live phone communication. When you combine these 2 methods of communication, you will have a successful show experience. But I also use email, Facebook, and snail mail. Still snail mail. The show is where most consultants book their shows, correct? Yep. Say yes. Good. I believe that face-to-face communication can be and should be taken of advantage just then and there. I begin coaching during the show opening before I've even booked my first show, and I learned this from Friel years ago. I do that by reinforcing the fact that the most important job of the host is to fill the room. And I say something like this: wow, Susie is good. I asked her to fill the room with people and look around. This is great. Once I secure the bookings, I always take time to review the host packet at full service checkout. Sometimes other guests are waiting in line, if you've ever experienced that. But my future host is my priority, and I know that face-to-face contact is so important. It only takes about 5 minutes to go through that packet. And when there are future hosts around, which there always are because they're listening, I coach them all together. I will try to make 3 contacts with my host by phone, and I am still using the method that I was taught 16 years ago, and it works. Call 1 is a live conversation. First to say thank you for booking, reconfirm time and date, and to ask if they would consider the business opportunity. If there is any interest about the business opportunity, I ask for an appointment before their show so I can go through the interview process before the show. The second reason to call is to find out why the host booked. My team is so sick of my why. It's usually one of 2 reasons. If they booked a show for a fun night out, then you want to focus on how great attendance will make the party more fun. If she books for free products, then you won't want to focus on how attendance will bring her products for free. Effective host coaching is keeping the conversation focused on the hosts, and it's the host's why, not your why. And no matter their reason why, the same goal, and it's to build attendance. Call 2 is about the menu choice. I check out what type of responses she is getting, and then I re-explain the benefit of personal calls to increase attendance. Call 3 is a get excited call. That's my favorite call, and usually happens the day before the show. I get the final head count and ask her about her outside orders. I also get those final directions for the show, like, does your house the only house with the odd on the even side of the street? In Connecticut, that's very common. At times, I don't reach them with my phone calls, but I do leave them messages. Oftentimes, they reply to me by email. Sure, that happens to all of you. If they happen to reply by email, I reply by email back, but I also call them again by phone. A personal contact is always best, and I want you guys to keep that in mind. I also use email to keep excitement up. After booking, I email the host letting her know I am thrilled that she booked with me. And I attach the host and guest special so she knows what's going on. In the email, I remind them to create a guest list with 40 names, and I ask them to personally invite Now, I also use certain words like, you know, Susie had a fabulous show last night, but, you know, she was expecting lots and lots of people, and we still had a great crowd, but we got a lot of last-minute cancellations. So I just want you to not be upset and expect that, just so they understand the whole, that they're, you know, going to get those. I also coach her to ask anyone who says they can't make it if they want to book their own show. That's so important. I also ask every host if she would like to use Facebook to supplement, and supplement's the key word there, okay? It's really important not to use Facebook as the only way. I give her the verbiage that she can use to post the event, and then I invite her to friend me so that I am part of the Facebook invitation, so then I can keep track of what's going on. I use the US mail or snail mail to send my host coaching letter, the host special, and the recipe selection. But my hosts know to expect this, and they'll keep it in their 2-pocket folder, and I see my hosts keep everything together. As a special treat for you guys, I've posted this letter that I took from somebody else years ago at conference, and I've put it on my website, so I'm going to give you my website address, okay? The beginning is like everybody else's, www.pamperedchef.biz, and then it's /chef, C-H-E-F, and it's Penny, that's P-E-N-N-E-Y. P-E-N-N-E-Y, because there is Penny Cersei, it's the other way, okay? In summary, live conversation, phone calls, swapping emails, and a Facebook event gives you a full house and a host who opens the door and is so happy to see you.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes, give her hands. Great. Building relationships is the key in the business, and that communication and that live coaching absolutely works. Thank you, Penny. Well, Jill, it's your turn. We just heard from Penny. We just heard Penny speak to the importance of helping the host build attendance at every single show. What tips do you have for getting your host to invite lots of people to their shows?
Well, building attendance starts with the initial contact. I always set goals with my host and help her develop a wish list so that she has a reason to invite. I ask her, Judy, what do you want the most? I ask her, what else can we add to your wish list? Think big. The guest list is also a very important component to building attendance. I ask every host for a guest list of 40 to 50 names, addresses, and phone numbers. I tell my hosts that statistics show that when you invite 40 to 50 people, you're only going to have 12 to 15 who will actually be able to attend the night of their show. I also let her know that many of those who cannot attend may decide to place an outside order and to help her get everything she wants on her list. I ask for names and addresses and phone numbers. I let her know that I'll mail mini catalogs or postcards to her guests, and that will also help with her and her outside sales. I always remind my hosts that what I send are reminders and that the actual invitations to her party should come personally from them. I tell the host that the invitation process is actually a multi-pronged approach. Here's what I mean. I let the host know that she should immediately call and invite her guests personally, that she should not rely on Facebook, or email, that she can use it, but not as the primary source for the invitation. I ask her to create an event and friend me so I can post and answer people's questions. I also let her know that she can email or text her guests as well. I let her know that the phone numbers are for the reminder calls. These can be done by her, by me, or through our phone bite system. The reminder calls are an important part of the success of the show. Whichever way you choose is up to you. Just do them. I also coach her on who to invite. I tell the host, invite people who like to eat, and don't make any positive or negative assumptions about your guests. For instance, if they want to come or if they don't want to come, if they have the money or if they don't have the money, let your guests decide. Maybe a night out with friends is just what they need. And last but not least, I give the host word choices on how to invite. I let her know that she should be inviting her guest with enthusiasm and an excitement about her show. I then teach her how to invite with that enthusiasm by sharing the words she should say. Judy, let all your friends know that it's girls' night out and we're having salsa and teenies. Or you should see all the new products. There's over 50 and I want them all. It's all about the excitement and the enthusiasm.
Absolutely true. I absolutely could not agree with you more. I'm seeing a common thread here. I hope you are all seeing that too. Jillian, it's your turn. It seems everyone on the panel is in agreement. Getting a guest list and a personal invitation from the host is the best way to be sure that you have a successful show. How do you manage the invitation process, and what type of invitations do you use?
Okay, well, I definitely take control of the invitation process. I am a big believer in doing the invitations for my hosts. I have them email me a list of all the names and addresses that they have, and I encourage them also to give me 40 to 50 names. I also send the mini catalog about 2 to 4 weeks before the show. I use the mini catalog because it gives the guests a little taste of the Pampered Chef, and it helps build the outside sales before the show. In addition to the mini, I send an invitation flyer that I create on a sheet of paper which has information on what they can expect from the show. On this flyer, I let them know about the theme the host has chosen, and I include the monthly guest special. Other word choices that appear on my flyer are, come and learn budget-friendly recipes and how to save time and money in the kitchen. Bring a friend or an outside order and receive a free gift. Come and taste the food. 70% of our catalog is under $20. I also include information how they can order on my website if they cannot attend the show. All of this fits in a regular envelope with just one stamp. When addressing the envelopes, I always use the host return address, and I write the words, in quotes, and guest, on the guest's mailing address so that they know they're invited with a guest. I know the flyer and envelope are extra steps in the process, but I do this because it greatly helps in attendance, creating excitement for the show and getting more outside orders. So, would you like to see one of my flyers? Well, all you have to do then is go to my website as of tomorrow. I forgot to put it on as of yesterday. www.pamperedchef.biz/Jillian E. Jilliane. In addition to all that, I encourage my hosts to set up their evites through my website, and if they are on Facebook, I encourage them to set up an event. I also want to remind each of you here today that the best invitation always comes personally from your host. Her energy and her excitement will lead to success for you and your host.
Absolutely, I love that. I love that all three of these ladies take control of every single step in the process. Jill, we're back to you for the final question. Earlier you talked about how important it was to get phone numbers on the guest list to make the reminder process easier. How do you ensure that all guests actually do receive that show reminder?
About 1 week before the show, I call the host, and the conversation goes a little something like this. Hi, Judy. It's Jill Averly from the Pampered Chef. How are you? I'm calling about your show for Friday night. I wanted to know how many people you're expecting and how your outside orders are going. Having those before the show will help you be able to close your show quicker and get your products sooner. Say she tells me she has 5 yeses and 2 maybes. I'd say, great. So far, so good. We don't count the maybes till they become yeses. Remember I told you that you would increase the success of your party by calling everyone, even the people who already said yes? You know how busy life gets, right, Judy? Well, they need a quick reminder. You should start calling everyone a day or 2 before your party. Would you like me to help you make those reminder calls? Or I could use the phone bite system I was telling you about. You have the time? Great. Okay. Your excitement can make the difference for someone who's maybe deciding if they can go or not. And the best part of making those reminder calls is that if they can attend the night of your show, they may place an order because of your call. Encourage them to go online or place the order while you're on the phone with them. You should also use Facebook, email, and text if that's how you originally invited them. But the personal phone call is best. Be sure to do both. In closing, I have to say that the reminder phone calls are a crucial part of the equation to have a successful show.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. Absolutely wonderful. And I love that you offer, it's going to go down to Jillian, I love that you offer the opportunity for you to do them or for the host to do them. And I bet you find most of the time that your host takes you up on that and does it herself, right? Yeah, they almost always do. All right, one more question for you, Jillian. And this I think is your favorite topic, is it not? It is said that hosts often make the best consultants.
Now we're talking.
How do you interest your host in the Pampered Chef business opportunity before her show?
This is my favorite topic. I start creating interest for the business opportunity with my host at the show even before she books her own show. During the show opening, I say, I know you may not have come here tonight looking for a job, but once you see what I do here tonight, you may want to take information home on this great business opportunity. Throughout the show, I continue to send recruiting messages, and I always close with the ticket game. I always talk to my next hosts at the full service checkout. I put information in their host packet and point it out to my hosts. That includes the Come Join Us booklet and the Your Life Your Way DVD. Here are the word choices that I often use. I wanted you to be aware of this business opportunity that we have. I'd love it if you would just view this 10-minute DVD prior to your show and let me know the #1 thing that excited you the most about our business. I will reward with an extra free gift when you do. If you decide to start your own Pampered Chef business, I will work twice as hard for you at your show and help you launch your business. I will give you all the bookings at your show to help you get off to a great start. Will you promise me you will take a look at it and let me know what you think on our next call? I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have then. If you decide it's not for you, can you let me know if you know anyone looking for extra income? Because I'm always looking for great people to join my team and I love to get referrals. Next comes the 24-hour call. Your first host coaching call with them. On this call, you want to determine their needs. Ask your host, so why did you decide to have this show? Was it for the free products? To get friends together? Are you thinking about starting your own business? You are going to have a better idea of what your host is looking for if you just ask her. If during the host coaching calls you discover that your host is interested in starting their own business, go through the interview process, let them know that you can actually sign them up now, and you will still come and do their show for them. Let them know it will be their grand opening or introductory show, and it will help them get started in their business. Between the days she says yes and her introductory show, I keep her focused on getting people excited to attend. Finally, the day of the introductory show arrives. I go and do the demo. I help them have the most successful show possible by encouraging everyone to place orders and asking everyone to book a show for my newest consultant. All the bookings immediately go right on to her calendar. Don't be afraid to recruit your host. She is the best lead. Think of it as a compliment because it is.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you. Let's give a great big hand to all three of these ladies. Three very successful women running extremely profitable businesses and just having a great time doing it. Thank you so much for sharing these host coaching tips with everyone here today, because I know if they take to heart what you said, bring it home and put those tips to use, they'll have the same exact success that every single one of you are. So thank you, Penny. Thank you, Jill. And thank you, Jillian. We have a present for you. Would you like